Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel.
We're the Dawnties.
My name's Richele.
I'm your favorite Donna.
And today I'm going to give you a tour of my library.
I'm not allowed to go in there.
You can't, you just gotta tell me. Did you know? So it has been a while. It's been over a year since I gave you a full office tour. Now in this last year, I have done some rearranging. I've gotten some additional shelves, and recently, like in the past couple of weeks, I purged over 100 books from my library to make room for a special shelf, a collection shelf. So I thought it was about time to give you guys a tour. You guys have been asking for more book content videos. Well, let's start with my home office, which is of course very organized.
Not like my office.
No.
My office chaos. Her office organized.
I think that just...
I thrive on chaos, y'all.
Yeah, I thrive on organization. So let me take you upstairs to my home office and give you a tour. The first wall we're going to start with. So across the top, I do have my Freddy Funko collection. I love those Funko Pops, so I wanted them in my library. And then we have the shelves. So up here I have nonfiction that is not related to a specific celebrity. Down here is like the memoirs, celebrity type nonfiction. And then these are all of the Disney related books. So I have a lot of Disney things. I have Rex, I have the Frozen key, I have this little book, I have Cruella, another Cruella, Belle. So this is like the start. And I need to eat these M&Ms. They've been sitting here since November, but they just look so pretty. Next we go into my young adult section. So my young adult is not separated by genre. It is strictly in alpha order by the author. So I do have quite a few shelves of young adult. I did cut a lot from my young adult section recently. So I unhauled over 100 books. A majority of them did come from my young adult. So that is the end of my young adult section. And this popcorn bucket next starts my historical fiction, which, if you couldn't tell what my favorite book is, I have 4 copies of the same book. That's fine. No judgment. And then the rest. So I don't read a lot of historical fiction. I mean, it really is just one shelf if you were to put them together. And then this little guy, this little spooky Halloween reader, he separates historical fiction from sci-fi, which I also don't read a lot of sci-fi. But the sci-fi that I do read, I really enjoy the genre. So these are the sci-fi books that I have. And then the last 2 shelves are my fantasy books, which I'm not a huge fantasy reader as well. There are some that I have read that I have truly enjoyed. And so these are the ones that made the cut to stay in my library. And then the last shelf on this wall are my literary fiction, or they're mainly literary fiction. Some of these have like a mystery or thriller undertone to them, but they're really just general fiction. So not a genre that I read a lot. I mainly read in specific genres, but this one is one of my favorites. Oh my gosh, this one and Nothing to See Here as well. Oh, top favorites in this genre. So I just have 2 shelves of literary fiction. Then we come down to Donna's shelf. So yeah, she has her own shelf in my library. I don't know why, but all of her spooky books and just really spooky stuff. This is pretty crazy. I'm surprised she doesn't have that in her office, but that is just her little collection of spooky things that she wanted me to know that, you know, she didn't want me to forget her or something. I don't know. And then the last 3 shelves are my horror books, and I have been reading a lot more horror. especially last year. So the ones that I have facing out are some of my favorites. I recently added a couple more, so I had a book on the bottom shelf that was facing out that I had to put back. It couldn't have its own facing out space because there wasn't enough room. But I am really enjoying the horror that I'm reading, and yeah, We Used to Live Here and Black Sheep are some of my favorites for sure. So this little bookshelf is really just some of my favorites. So up top, on either side of Evelyn Hugo, those are the Blind Date with the Book books that I purchased. This was the cover. I mean, obviously these are empty. I did take out the books on both of them, but I thought the artwork was amazing. We got them from the Strand in New York City, and I just couldn't bring myself to throw away that artwork. So beautiful. And then this is my special edition of The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. The rest of this shelf really just contains authors that I own several books from, and she is one of my favorites, Catherine Ryan Howard, but they are stacked behind. Same with Ruth Ware, so you can see all of the books by that one author behind. If you know, it's hard to tell with those hardcovers, but yeah, these are authors that I have read and I own a lot of books from, and my L. Kennedy is pretty much tapped out, which is why I have some books up front that are stacked. I do have an empty space over here, so I did get rid of shuffled some things around, but these are some of the authors that really, whatever they write, I'm probably gonna read it. Big fan, obviously. So this is like just authors that I really enjoy and own a lot of their books from. So we will get into this closet at the end, but in front of the closet are really my TBR carts. So the one on the left, this is the one that are just the books that I do want to get to soon. Down here at the bottom are the remaining books I have on the 12 books I wanted to read this year, so I have 5 left. But this is my main TBR cart. This one is my series TBR cart. So I have read half of this series. There's 8 books. I've read 4. I've only read 2 in the Throne of Glass series. And then you can see some of these I haven't even started. But I do have the books ready to go. So if I'm in a series mood or if I want to make progress in a series, I can easily come here and pick a series to read the next book in. On the other side, I do have 3 more bookshelves. Up here at the top, these are my used journals, my only manga that I own, a couple of decorations, all of my Harry Potter books, and the Hunger Games book, and then just some bags and stuff. But if we start over here, this is a shelf dedicated to my favorites. So my favorite horror authors, Grady Hendrix and Simone St. James. My favorite thriller authors, Megan Golden and Riley Sager. So I put all of their books that I own there. From these 4 authors. I absolutely love them. I will read anything that any 4 of them write. And then we go straight into my thrillers. So again, these are all alphabetized by author's last name. So I did make some room so I could face some of my favorites out. So Daisy Darker is one of my favorites. And if we keep growing down here, I love Everyone Here Is Lying, as well as The Maid. So I do have plenty of room to grow. Those are just facing out to kind of spread out the books a little bit, where I did get some extra room. And then here are my last 2 shelves for my thriller books. So it does end here, and this is just a container of all of the bookmarks that I have, all the aardvarks and all the book of the month ones, and some just random ones as well. So I do have all my bookmarks kind of together, so I can easily grab one. I know where they're at. I don't lose them. They're all together. This is my newest shelf. This is why I wanted to unhaul so many books, to make room. One, so I could continue to grow in certain genres, but I wanted a Wicked shelf. I absolutely love Wicked, so I got a whole bunch of different things that I've collected and things that I recently purchased to kind of fill this out. This is our most recent purchase, was the Wicked Monopoly game. I got this book for Christmas. This is from when everyone went to go see the movie. I saw these. These are little Bluetooth speakers that I found at Five Below, and for $5, I was like, why not? Some journals, the original book, and then these are containers that came with the cups that we purchased last year, which we love. So I thought they were really cool. I wanted to keep them. So I have my own little Wicked shelf. And then the rest of my books on this wall are my romance books. So you can see there's a lot of books from certain authors like Catherine Center. I own quite a bit of her books, read all of those. So if at some point Catherine Center, maybe I may put her on the shelf with my authors that I have highlighted, just because I do own a lot from her specifically. And then this is the last bookshelf of my romance. Anna Wong, she looks like she's pretty maxed out, so maybe I'll move Anna Wong to the other shelf, because I do own a lot of her books as well. But if you can see here, these are the rest of my romance books. Romance and thrillers are my two biggest genres, which is why all three of these shelves only contain thrillers and romance, because they're my favorites. I love them. I love both of those genres so much, if you couldn't tell. I own quite a bit in each. And then this last little bookshelf here are just some more highlights from authors. Lisa Reagan, this is a 22 book series. I'm on book 9, or I just finished book 9. So as I read them, I'm putting them here just so I have the whole collection and I know like where I'm at. Holly Jackson, love her. I will pick up anything that she writes. And then of course, my two favorite authors, Abby Jimenez and Taylor Jenkins Reid. I have all of their books. And then down on the bottom are two shelves completely filled with every single Colleen Hooper book. So these are some more of some author highlights. And then this is my desk. This is where I work. I do work from home 3 days a week, and I get this beautiful view of my neighbor's house. So that's fun. But I have all my necessities, my coasters, obviously my laptop, my second screen, all of my journals and markers and pens and all the things that I may need. And then the last section over here, this is my immediate TBR. So this usually contains library books, like these first 3 are library books that I need to read in return. But then ones that I own, that if I read all of these, I can pick one of these out next. And it really just depends on my mood. So I will pick from my TBR and put it over here on the fridge as my immediate next up in line kind of thing to read. Because they are closest to me whenever I am at my desk. And then I have my mini fridge, which I am collecting book only magnets to put on here because it's a library. So I recently got Afterword. I got that in Kansas. And these first 2 are from New York. And then these 4 are from Book of the Month. So I thought they were fitting to go here. Now, if you just want a little sneak peek inside my fridge, I'm a liquid girly. So I have water, energy drinks, and vanilla Coke. And that is literally the only things that I keep in my mini fridge. Okay, so I moved the TBR cart out of the way so I can share with you my closet. So if you look up top, these are all of my journaling supplies. So I have markers and washi tape and stickers and coloring books and more stickers and stamps. And then all of the journals, I did actually label them as well since I have so many, so I can easily identify which is which. And then obviously my paints that I just got for my Wicked journal that I will be starting probably at the end of summer. But I have all the paint ready for that. And then just some more journals, notepads, markers, old books that I can rip up if I want to use them in my journals. So just some crafting things. And then here I do have some more pins in my acrylographs from Arthur and Olive as well here. These are just some additional batteries for my lights. This is a new pack of markers that I just got about a week ago. These are dot markers, which I'm really excited to use those. And then just some additional markers, stickers, stencils, all of my ink pads for all the stamps. Of course, just some more notepads, a stamp, some tape, just all the crafty things. And then this is my TBR closet. So these are books that I own, that I want to read, but they're not on my immediate radar. Now I do rotate these out, just depending if I'm in the mood for a certain author, for a certain genre, and I really want to pick one up, then I will move one of these to my TBR cart so I can easily see it. But this is my TBR closet. So one day I'll get to these, but they're not immediate. Lucy Score, I do own a lot of her books, And I know that every time I pick one of hers up, I'm going to love it. So I usually keep at least one on my immediate TBR cart just so I can make progress through her specifically. But yeah, these are all the books I have not read, including the cart as well. Everything else on the shelves that are in this room, I have read. And my books do not go on these shelves unless I have actually read them and liked them enough to keep them. So all of these books I have read. I would highly recommend most of these to everybody. Certain books are for certain kinds of people or looking for a certain specific genre or, you know, certain vibe of a book. But yeah, that is my home library / my home office.
I have 2 TBR carts and a TBR closet. And a TBR stack on my fridge. It goes from immediate TBR on the fridge. The 2 carts are backup TBR, and the closet is one day TBR. One day I'll read those. One day they get upgraded from the closet to the cart to the fridge. Okay, it makes sense because it's getting closer and closer to me where I sit. Does it make sense?
Chaos. I thrive on chaos.
So that was a look at my home library. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a comment down below. I would love to know, what is your favorite genre to read? Or if you have like books that you own at home, what is the biggest genre you own the most books from? Because honestly, thrillers and romances are my 2 biggest read genres, and they are my 2 biggest collections.
Probably thriller and mystery for me.
For you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe horror.
I did recently have to expand for a 3rd shelf of horror. So, I've been reading more.
I'm rubbing off on her, guys.
You are. And it's not that I'm reading more and more. I'm just enjoying more and more enough to purchase them. So, you know what I mean? Anyways, that's been it for us today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in our next video. Bye.
Bye.